Made it to the supercharger in West Yellowstone. Guess what? It recommends charging now. Probably that's why we came here, huh? So we are at 11%, and well, had to drive over here without any cruise control, any FSD, lane departure feature. Everything was disabled. I don't know, car went nuts, and just applied corrective steering like every few seconds. Well, it obviously can't oversteer me. The driver always can hold the wheel, no big deal. So, but yeah, I don't know. So, but we'll plug in, and hopefully all that stuff will reset, and I can have a nice drive home after charging here. So let's plug in. It sure takes forever. What the heck? There we go. Let's look. And got a little snow out here, so let's get the feet somewhat clean. And let's see what we're getting here. Hopefully we can do somewhat decent anyway. That's it. 119. 117? What? Come on, go up to like 130. Well, I guess that's what we're getting for now anyway. So we have charge limit is 100% still. We'll hope we get there pretty quick. Alright, we got about 55 minutes remaining to 100%. Let's see if we put navigation in. Where do we go? Butte? Let's see what it does here. Estimated charge time 25 minutes to Butte. And we will get there 8:37, huh? So we got at least 25 minutes, so it's now it shows 25 minutes to continue the trip, but it was 55 minutes to come to 100%, so obviously wouldn't go 100%. Let's cancel this. Let's do... Come on. Give me this here. Man, this is going slow. Alright, where we go? Bozeman. Wow, this is slow. Holy moly. What is this? There we go. Huh, why was that grayed out? I don't know. So that would be 72 miles. Let's see. So then I would only have 15 minutes charge time. So we got a little time. I'm hungry, so I need to go get some food. At this point, it don't really matter. We're going for 55 minutes for 100%. Only 117 kilowatts, kind of slow, but all right. I'll go find some food here in town, and hopefully when I come back, all these other functions will work again and I can start my trip home. Did a quick walk down Main Street. Actually, it's called Canyon Street. Went down to the grocery store, picked up a couple food items, and came back here and ate them while watching some YouTube. So much cheaper and much better than actually going to one of those restaurants here. So that worked out pretty well, especially if you're by yourself. That works great. So car is already way there. Let's see here, 94% already. We're only going at about 24 kilowatts, so not that much. But going to Butte, we could get there, if you can see that, with 39%. So that sounds pretty reasonable. Oh, lights went off. Let's just do this here. That sounds about right. Not sure. It's 29 degrees right now. It's not too cold. The weather should be all right going that direction. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm going back over to the Idaho side here, over the pass, and then down towards Island Park. But right at the beginning of Island Park, I will turn right towards Ennis instead of going back towards the cozy cabin. So this is kind of how this looks like here. Let's see. So here we are. So we're going back over the pass, go down here, and then rather than keep on going down here back to the cabin, we make this right turn and we go up here, and I will take us through Ennis and then back up to Cardwell onto the interstate and over the pass right there and down to Butte. And according to this, we should get there by 9:15, 2 hours and 35 minutes, 145 miles, which 145 miles is about the same as going to the cabin. So basically coming from here and going back to Butte is about the same distance. And so we should get a good idea of, excuse me, of that drive, if it's more efficient than coming up, if going down is more efficient, because we're over 6,000 feet here, but we'll be dropping down towards about 5,500. And also we can compare it to the Chevy Bolt, because that's what we done with the Chevy Bolt as well. So 95% already. I think we'll just go and unplug and get on our way. Let's go. We arrived in Butte at the Supercharger. 20% left, so that ain't too bad. So we drove 148 miles at 338 watt hours per mile, and we used 50 kilowatt hours. And now it is 9:25. It is a little warmer here. It's been a few degrees less. Well, it's been somewhere between 25 and 30 actually most of the time, so it's about where it was, I guess. But yeah, so we're here now. Let's see if we can navigate there. That's where we want to go. Let's see what it says here. So right now we would get there with minus 43. It tells us 25 minutes charge time here, estimate. So let's get it plugged in. We need a little bit more since we got to go past Missoula, about 30 miles. So yeah, it says 11:30 in Missoula, so midnight home, just like I thought. Well, let's get it plugged in. Okay, 30 minutes remaining to continue trip. And how far do we go? Here we go nicely. 135. We do better here than we did in west. We do the same about as we did earlier here today. So we'll see. Well, we got at least 30 minutes here, so that will make it 10 o'clock. Then we could make it to Missoula. So I gotta see if maybe we actually stop in Missoula. It depends a little bit on how quickly the charge rate will drop here. If here in about 30 minutes we're pretty darn low, I might as well just drive to Missoula and spend there a few minutes at a higher charge rather than here possibly twice or three times the amount of time. So if I can get just by with 5 or 10 minutes in Missoula instead of 20 to 30 extra minutes here, that's the better deal. So, but we'll see where it is at when it tells us that it's ready to continue the trip. So now there is not too much to do around here. It's a little later, and I don't know, the coffee shop over there is closed. Perkins over this way is closed. I don't know, there's a McDonald's that way, but I'm not hungry. Huh. I would have gotten a coffee from the coffee shop maybe. So we'll see. Not much to do here at night. This is the mall over here, but most of the stores in the mall are gone. And probably the few that are closed at this point at night, so we'll see. There's a casino right over here, but I don't gamble, so nothing for me. So yeah, I don't know what we do. Maybe watch some YouTube video, the one I started and couldn't finish in west. I've been watching YouTube, and well, I had to cut it short. Couldn't even finish the video. So enough charge to continue trip. We are at 86%. It's still putting in 41 kilowatts. Probably could get at least twice that in Missoula. So I think I don't want to hang out here too long. I might just pull off in Missoula and get a little extra juice there. It is now 9:56 and it's about 29 degrees out there. So I think I will unplug and get going. We're back home. 12:16. So just about 16 minutes past midnight. And it's 33 degrees here. And we got here with 11%. And amazingly, the battery is low and they recommend charging. That's kind of funny. So anyway, let's see here. Trips. Since last charge, we drove 153 miles, 52 kilowatt hours used at 343. So here we had a little higher consumption again. Oh, there goes the light. Because well, we were on the interstate going 80 miles an hour basically, so that's using quite a bit of juice. overall we did pretty good. Now that it's midnight, I think I'm going to bed, and I'll look at this stuff in the morning and add up the total trip, since I forgot to reset the trip meter as usual. I don't know why, but I just forget. So anyway, so we'll add it up, but we have about 600 miles done today, and I get the numbers together so we can have a conclusion of this trip. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, I'm back. So it was a long day yesterday, and as always I forgot to reset one of the trip meters before starting the trip. I don't know, I just do that all the time. But hey, gotta do something wrong all the time or life would be perfect, right? So anyway, I added up the miles. I did 632 miles yesterday at an average of 360 watt hours per mile. And now I can see some of you cringe over there thinking, man, this is pretty bad. It's not, it's real life. It's real life for us here, especially in the winter time. That is how it is, going high speeds with elevation and having to heat the car. That's just what it is. I know that you can do much better in milder climates and warmer climates, but for us, this is reality. And some people really get surprised how little they get out of the car, and then you find out, well, you were going 80 miles an hour, which is the speed limit in Montana, so you're using quite a bit. Or you were in a cold climate, yes, you're using even more then. And then the road conditions, dry roads are fine, but once you have wet roads or snow, slush, that increases consumption quite a bit. So the 360 is basically normal for us in the wintertime. We average just on the 300, like 298 of the total lifetime on this car. So it's got a little over 50,000 miles now, and it's just below 300 watt hours per mile average for that total lifetime. So that is real life. And if I will calculate the range that I get, this car has a 75 kilowatt hour battery pack at the 360 watt hours per mile. My range out of this battery pack is 208 miles and not the 310 rated miles. And then that's it. That doesn't mean I can get 208 miles every time, because sometimes I have higher consumption. This is just the average consumption for this whole trip. And I had going from the cabin over to West Yellowstone, the consumption was actually at 451 watt hours per mile. So much higher. Why? Well, the car was cold, the road conditions, the temperatures, everything affecting it. We had to go over a pass. So again, we had to climb up a hill, and you're not making that up going back down the hill. You're using way more up the hill than you can save or recover going down the hill. That's just physics, and nobody could solve that issue yet. Yeah, we had other averages. Actually, we had an average of 283 in there as well on a long stretch. And so obviously that was really good. We did really, really great at that point. Much lower. Maybe we had some tailwinds that helped us. But most of them, if I look at this, we had 387, 338, 343, and then we had the high one, 451, and the low one, 283. So 360 is the average for this trip. And so going to Butte, we were at 387. So Missoula to Butte, we were higher in that consumption. So obviously there's no way to get the 208 miles. If the consumption is up even higher, we get even less miles. So for us, it's always important that we fill up to 100% here at home to be able to safely make it to Butte, because it's a lot of elevation gain. That's one of the big things. And then depending on the road conditions and temperatures, this may add on to it. So it is super important to preheat your car and preheat it long enough. So the Tesla, it takes about 15 minutes. Then we get a notification from the app, and it says your car is now at temperature, which means the air inside the car is at the set temperature. But then if you go in the car and you would actually touch certain surfaces, you know this, it's really not that warm. And certainly it's not warm all the way through. And it's important that everything in the car, seats, floor mats, dashboard, headliner, etc., everything that's in the car needs to be all the way through at the same temperature. If that's not the case, it will still absorb heat, which means you still have to put heat in the car. And if you're doing that while driving, you're losing range. So rather than just doing a preheat for 15 minutes if you go on such a long drive and you really need everything you got, preheat it for 30, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. It's not uncommon for us to preheat a car in the wintertime for an hour if we go on a long trip and need every little bit that we have in the battery. If you preheat it for an hour, everything is warm inside. It's kind of like baking a cake, you know. If you put a cake in the oven, it's gonna take a long time before the heat is all the way through, and that's what you want. You want it baked all the way through. Same thing with your car. You want your car baked all the way through. So once the car is really warm all the way through, not just the air inside the car, that's when you can save even more. Even a little preheat will save for your daily drive. If you just preheat 15 minutes for your daily drive, you can save quite a bit of your range. But on a long trip where you need it all, consider preheating longer so it's really, really warm in there. All right, well, as this was another fun trip, we will do the same trip again here in a few weeks because, well, we got to do some spring cleaning at the cabin. So we have to go over there. We hope we can make this a nice family weekend, hopefully a few days, maybe during school spring break, so we can go over there and at least spend hopefully maybe a day in the park if the park is open. Yellowstone does not always open at the same exact time, and not necessarily every road in the park is open because yeah, there's still quite a bit of snow there and it's still cold, and it's not uncommon for it to snow in June, so so we'll see. But yeah, we'll do that trip again. Not sure which car we'll take, but you will find out because I'm sure you're subscribed already. If not, make sure you subscribe right now. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of those videos. And don't forget, please give us a thumbs up for this video and every one of our videos you watch. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.